Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here on our YouTube channel for episode number 1061. Well, today we are going to talk about finding the right fit for yourself. This is particularly true when you have something very specialized that you want to do in college and maybe in a future career. How do you find the place that's going to fit you right, that's going to help you succeed and learn and grow into that profession that you're dreaming about after college? Well, today we're going to be speaking with a student from Kentucky named Sydney Alsip, and she is going to be talking to us all about her dream of judging livestock and how she identified Northern Oklahoma College as the place that she was going to go to after high school graduation all the way over in Kentucky. It's a really interesting point she makes. I think it's a lesson that all of us, especially those of us who are coming up through this stage of life, can learn from, and we are going to get that started for you right now. Sydney, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, it is my pleasure. I am looking forward to the conversation. And the last time we tried to do this, we got interrupted by sports. Is that right?
Yeah, I had a softball game down in Harrison County.
Okay, so you are a softball player. What is your position?
I play right field.
Is that right? Okay. How's the bat going for you this year?
It's going pretty decent. I mean,
yeah, everybody's their own worst critic, Sydney. So you would obviously like, every softball player, every baseball player, they all want to be hitting 1,000. You're probably no different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I am looking forward to the conversation and hearing all about it. Let's start off like this. I'd like to learn a little bit more about you. So do you live in town? Do you live on a farm? Do you live like something kind of in the middle of those two? Can you describe that for us?
So I'm from Northern Kentucky. And so in the little area that I'm in, I'm not technically in our main town. I'm in one of the little off cities. And I live on a little farm out in Verona, which is just some like hand-me-down land from my great-grandma, my great-grandfather, that we now have a sheep production unit on.
Okay, very cool. And so this land started in your family with great-grandma and great-grandfather, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And now you get to live there. And now, has this been your entire life, or has this been something more recent as a development?
So my father originally, he moved my family out to Henry County, where we had a big hay operation out there. And then when the economy got real bad, we moved back to Verona and back to Boone County because my mom worked for the local court office.
Okay.
And so we moved back to be a little bit closer, and then we ended up here on my family's farm.
Okay, very good. And I'm in Idaho, so it's a world apart from you, even though we're in the same country. And
Yeah.
I always love speaking with folks from Kentucky and Tennessee and your region, because everybody refers to the county they live in. It is so different than where I'm from. I've never lived anywhere where people say, I'm from such and such county. It's always the town. So it's so different. Anytime I get to speak to anybody from Kentucky, it's always a lot of fun. Now, you're a senior this year?
Yes, sir.
Well, this episode is actually going to come out on May 3rd. It's going to be really close to graduation time for you. So let me give you a preemptive congratulations. You're wrapping up high school. Congrats to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And how long have you been involved with the FFA now?
So at my local school, we actually don't have like a younger thing. So we all start out our freshman year into the FFA program.
Gotcha. So you're in your...
And I've been throughout my senior career, or my high school career.
All right. So you're in your senior year now and serving as your chapter's president?
Yes.
Hey, congrats. That's a heck of an accomplishment. What brought you into that? Why did you want to serve on that officer team and ultimately be president?
So my father actually went to the same high school I did, and he was our chapter president when he was a senior. And he always told me that was the coolest thing he's ever done, getting to hang out and be with everyone and see the new leadership skills and being a part of the agriculture and becoming the future. And I was like, well, that's something I want to do. That is something I want to do to be just like him. So
Okay.
I wanted to follow in his footsteps.
And was he right? Is it the coolest thing you've ever done?
Yeah, COVID's changed it up a little more,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
definitely been fun.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my goodness. You hit it. You got started right when COVID shut everything down.
Yes.
Okay. But you had this strong family legacy and you're carrying it forward. So that's really cool. I mean, that's really very special that your dad was chapter president and then you were as well. And I'm sorry, did I miss it or did I catch it? Did your dad go to the same high school?
Yes, he did go to the same high school.
That is cool. So you're a father and daughter combination of chapter presidents at the same high school, same chapter.
Yes.
That's awesome. Has that ever been done before?
Not that I know of. My little town's not very big, and we're not many people are into ag. Most of everyone's an athlete, so
Okay.
not many people end up falling into the same footsteps as into the FFA.
Okay. Wow, that's really cool. Very special. Now, I always ask everybody why they got into the FFA. Your answer, I think, is unbelievably obvious, but obviously you did have that family legacy and you had your dad kind of as a advocate for you to do that.
Yes, for sure. My father and my mother both have been my biggest inspiration to stay in agriculture. And my father, he didn't get to keep doing that because he used to farm and do tobacco all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the economy got bad, he couldn't, but he wanted me to keep following my dreams and doing agriculture.
Oh, very cool. Well, good. That makes me happy. Puts a smile on my face to hear that. And you did that. And I mean, here you are. You're kind of at the end of the journey, at least the high school journey. And you're right at the peak. You know, you're serving as your chapter's president, and it's been very worthwhile for you. That's great. That's why I love doing these interviews. Well, let's do this. How many FFA advisors do you have there?
I only have one.
Okay. We always love to acknowledge our FFA advisors. Would you mind telling the world who that is?
So the Walton-Verona Ag Advisor is Alexandra Oder.
All right. Well, thank you very much for mentioning her, and really appreciate that. Let's talk about your supervised agricultural experience and tell us what you've been doing.
So for my SAE project, I have a club lamb operation, which I started my freshman year. I ended up showing about 5 head of wethers and 2 ewes. My wethers was just from my local county 4-H, which got me into the lambing side of it and showing and fitting and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I kept 2 of my ewes and I ended up breeding them. And then from there, I went from 2 ewes to around almost 40.
Oh, my goodness. And when was this that you started again? How old were you?
It'd be my freshman year of high school, so I was like 14 or 15.
Man, I am not good at math, but to go from 2 ewes to 40 in 4 years, have you ever done the math on that? What kind of percentage increase that is in your flock?
No, it is definitely crazy. My dad definitely grew a passion with it with me. So I think it was my junior year. He got me 12 ewes in 1 year to show across the Kentucky. And I put all of them back into my herd and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And now I'm where I am today.
That is awesome. And you've got a business name for this, right?
Yeah, my business is S&W Club Lambs. And we're located here in Verona, Kentucky.
Okay. Well, where does the name come from? I'm guessing the S is Sydney, but maybe I'm wrong. Where does S and W come from?
Yes, so the S is for Sydney, as in me, and then the W is for Wesley, which is my little brother.
Uh-huh.
So my little brother actually plays a huge role in my project as well because he loves it just as much as I do. I handle a little more the show aspect, and he handles the little more. He likes to feed and go out and get dirty and play in the dirt.
Okay.
That's what he likes to do. But it's a team effort, so it's S&W Club Lambs.
How old is he?
He just now is a freshman. He's just gotten to his freshman year.
Okay. And is he following in the footsteps of you and your dad and going to the FFA?
Yes, he is a FFA member this year with me. I got to do my final year with him. And he has a little hay production SAE going on and a couple other things.
Oh, so he is liking it. He's getting into it already.
Yes.
That is great. Now, what does he think about having his big sister as his chapter president?
Oh, I give him some hard time every now and then when we're in a meeting, but he enjoys it because he gets to go everywhere with me, and he knows he'll be able to go to all of our meetings and committee functions and all kinds of stuff like that.
That's awesome. Man, that's special. Really, really cool. And are there any
Yeah.
other siblings coming behind him?
Nope, it's just me and him.
Okay, you and him. That is wonderful. All right. Well, that is a big flock of sheep. So that is exciting. And obviously you can't show every one of them. And you must be selling some sheep, I assume, or are you still retaining everything?
So right now I'm at the point where I don't have enough barn space. So I do have to start getting rid of some. I think this year we had around almost 30 babies, I think.
Okay.
I mean, altogether, we have around probably 60 animals running around the barn, but just with the babies alone, we'll be sending about 20 head off to the slaughter here in the next couple weeks as we're reaching the age of where it's time to go, that 90 to 80 to 90 pound range. So it's time for them to get going. But I do save my best ones to take into the shows, either to the local district shows, my county fair, or to even sell to younger 4-Hers or new FFA members that are looking to start their own club lamb.
That's awesome. So you're a resource to help people get started and help them get going showing.
Yes, for sure.
Now, when you sell lambs to folks who are just starting out, do you ever give them any coaching? Do you kind of give them some tips and some hints on how to fit or on how to show and do those things?
Yes. So when younger kids like to come and get some animals from me, we have a little girl that likes to come and get a ewe every year because she doesn't want to part with them in the end. So we just take them back into our flock. And if anyone ever needs help, I'll drive over to their house. I'll help them with bracing their lamb, feeding their lamb, making sure we got that animal just right. I help them with clipping and fitting. And I'll even go to shows with them to make sure they're ready there at the show area too.
Yeah, I love that. I love this time of year too when it's all getting going. My daughter, she showed her final lamb last year. I don't know. She's not going to show this year, but she says she's going to again next year. I don't exactly know where that's coming from, but man, it was such a fun time to go to those practices for sheep and get those lessons and have older students like yourself teaching the younger kids and showing them how to do it, and just kind of standing back and watching it happen. It was really a lot of fun. And then of course for us, the week of fair was always a great week to do that. Did you show at the fair, or was it mostly jackpot shows and things like that?
So this year, because of COVID, we didn't get to go out and show as much as we would have liked. So we got to hit about 2 of our district shows in Kentucky, which is a little bit smaller than a jackpot. We just don't have as big of awards.
Okay.
But this year I got to show almost everything at the Boone County Fair, which is a 4-H event. And then for the FFA, I got to take a born and bred ewe out to the Kentucky State Fair where I competed with her in showmanship. And then I had a goat show, so my little brother got to take her in for the market lamb show. Okay,
very good. Now, as you're talking about the lambs that you can no longer keep on your place and they're getting up to that slaughter weight, are you guys finishing them all there at your place and then taking them to the auction? What are you doing to market those lambs that aren't going into the show ring?
So to market those lambs, right now we don't have Kentucky doesn't have a real huge need as compared to some other states with more of that everyone wanting some lamb. So we can either go up into Indiana and sell them, or we can take them down close to Paris, Kentucky, and get them sold at the local stockyards there. And we do finish them out on our farm. We have our barns split into about thirds for each. 1/3 has yearling ewes, and the ewes that are just got their babies weaned off of them, so they're needing a little extra feed. They're in one part. And then in the middle of the barn, we have those lambs we're going to make these into show lambs. We're going to push them over here. And then when we have the babies, we're just trying to get weighed on to send them on to that sale to make sure they can get their full value and be at their full quality.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay. So here you are. I mean, you're wrapping up high school. You're wrapping up the FFA. What's going to be next for you?
So what's actually next for me, which I'm super excited about, I'll be furthering my education at Northern Oklahoma College, and I will be on the livestock judging team with Jennifer Bedwell and a bunch of awesome kids that'll be on my team as well. And I'll be going into agribusiness with a minor in animal science, as well as taking some sheep production courses along the way to help further my education to hopefully bring back to my own operation.
That is great. Good for you. And so with that degree, what do you ultimately want to do? Have you determined that yet?
I'm not quite sure because I know there's a lot of opportunities in the business and marketing area in agriculture. And I just want to do something that can get me. I always see like people that do the business degrees, they go to like shows and stuff and like help sell their either their feed, their medication, their almost anything, stands, you name it, they're there.
Okay.
Just to hopefully one day do that.
Okay. And all the way to Oklahoma, how did you choose the school that you're going to?
So livestock judging has been my main thing since I was 9 years old.
Okay.
I have judged all over the United States, basically. And I was wanting to pursue that, and I wanted a good school with a great coach. And not that none of the other schools have great coaches. They're all really good, but this one just matched my personality to a T. And I was like, this is the school for me. This is where I want to go. So that's how I chose Northern Oklahoma.
Awesome. And you mentioned Jennifer Bedwell. Why did you mention her?
Jennifer Bedwell will be my coach when I get out to the junior collegiate level for the livestock judging. And she, even though I haven't got to know her very long, she has definitely gotten me to have some more confidence when given my reasons or even just getting out there and doing my thing. She just gives that extra boost of confidence to keep going.
So do you see yourself at some point getting flown around the country to judge events in other states?
I would absolutely love that. That is my number one goal. That's, definitely what I want to do.
That is awesome. You know, I always wonder about that. I always, what I do for a living, I interview people about their businesses in ag. And every time I'm at the fair and I'm watching the sheep, whether it's market or breeding or showmanship, whatever it is, I always want to go talk to the judge and ask them, how did you wind your way into this? Because our judges in Idaho, where we're at, they're coming out of Iowa, they're coming out of Texas, they're coming from across the country. And I always want to know, what did you do that the folks here in our county found you and flew you out and paid you to do this? The problem with that is we have so many sheep at our fair. The judges are so overwhelmed and so busy. I just don't have the heart to go ask them to do one extra thing once they're done with their day. But how does that work? I mean, once you build that reputation, once you're doing that in college, how would you get yourself on a list or get yourself hired in a place like Idaho to come judge sheep?
That is a great question. The only thing I can think of is when we go to like national contests where everyone, if you're really into judging and showing, everyone kind of keeps up with it. It's like you can almost start like the March Madness. Like that's something we keep up with and how everyone falls. And you always find that one person you're like, wow, they can find these animals and they can give you a legit reasoning into why they need to be put here. And I can think of so many great judges that have done just that and are flying around the country and states or all over the U.S. basically and getting to judge these animals and sort them and show them off to the world like, hey, these are what they are and this is the best one I found today. But everyone has a different opinion, so none will ever be the same.
Okay. I'm always interested in this. So is Northern Oklahoma, is that going to be a 2-year or a 4-year school?
So Northern Oklahoma for livestock judging, most of us like to go to junior colleges. It gives you that extra time to put in for a senior college. So it is only a 2-year school.
Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that your strongest livestock judging colleges tend to be 2-year schools. And that's always been very interesting to me. So I'd love to ask your advice for other students out there, because obviously with you coming from Kentucky, somehow you found a coach that fits your style and a school that fits your personality multiple states away. And it's not, it's a great school, but it's not a high profile school. Like, let's talk about Oklahoma. It's not the University of Oklahoma. It's not Oklahoma State. And I only bring those up because those are the colleges in Oklahoma you hear about all the time. But you found this school that fits you, and it's going to help you accomplish your goals. Talk to other students that are coming behind you really quick about the research you did to enable you to to locate this place that's going to be such a great fit for you. How did you do that?
So for me to actually find the school that I fell in love with, and even though not many knew about it, I got to interact with a bunch of local colleges, and I actually have like local college kids that went off and did judging. Like my friend Blair Cup, she's actually from my county, and her brother Jeremiah, they went off and judged on the collegiate level, and they told me about all kinds of schools that they went to in Illinois. And then the one where I actually heard about NOC was from one of my best friend's sisters, Paige Dupin. She went to NOC and did really well out there and got a whole new experience and got to break loose and just really see what she can do with herself. And she went on to do great things, or she's still going on to do great things. And all I got to say is, for people who want to either pursue judging or pursue that school they just know they need to find, just do your research, go out and find them, and never be afraid to talk to them. I was hesitant to talk until I was like, hey, this might just be the school for me. I just got to take that leap of faith and just go after it. And that is how I ended up finding NOC.
Awesome. So just the lesson for everybody out there, just to kind of add to what you're saying, here's what I'm hearing. You put yourself around people who were doing what it was that you had identified you wanted to do. And then you tapped into that knowledge, and that's how you got to where you're headed right now.
Yes, for sure.
That's awesome. That's great. Sydney, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing this with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, everybody. And thank you again to Sydney Alsip for coming on the Off-Farm Income Podcast today and sharing that great information with us. And hey, we would love it if you would click that subscribe button down below and become a subscriber here to our YouTube channel for many, many more videos just like this one. We'd also love to connect with you on social media, everybody. If you're out there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn, please find us at Off-Farm Income and connect with us there. Like us, share us, follow us, whatever it is you'd like to do. We would love to connect. Hey, until next time, enjoy your journey to the ultimate lifestyle business, agriculture.